Hi everyone, my name is Mwangi. I'm here with a different story today. It is my experience with COVID-19. It was in March 2021 when I lost my mother. You see, she had been ill for a long period of time, but we had managed to control the illness. So when she passed on 25th March this year, I wasn't ready for those news. But when that happens, you have no choice but to prepare for a funeral. I therefore traveled from the town where I work and went home to bury her. We buried her on the last day of March. Once we buried her, I did a COVID test and I was due to travel on the 2nd of April this year. Travel I did because I tested negative. When I traveled to Kigali, which is the place I work, I did another COVID test and it was also negative. So I knew I was okay. But 2 days after, I started feeling ill. But I thought it was part of grieving. I hadn't lost such a close person like my mother. So I thought the process of grieving is painful. And so I took a bit of time. But one of my bosses said, "Polly, you need to go test for COVID." I went and tested for COVID and I was positive. The nurse that gave me the news gave me standing at the corridor very casually. I wasn't sure what to do with the news. Some drugs were prescribed, which I bought and went back home. The days that followed, I was in so much pain. I couldn't get out of bed. But I kept hope alive. In fact, I told God, there are certain things that I have done in my life, and for those, please save my life. You see, in my vision board, I have talked about spirituality. I had to make use of my spirituality at that point in time. I had to pray, and praying I did. In fact, after several days when I got a bit of energy, I had to contact my pastor and I told him, you need to pray for me. I've been very ill and this is the time I have gotten energy to write to you. In fact, after writing the text to him, I remember it was one of the days and it was past midnight. I started believing with him that I was going to be okay. In fact, the way I put my prayer is, I believe with Pastor Robert. I believe with the prayer that Pastor Robert was going to put for me. A few days after, I recovered from COVID. You see, COVID may affect the body, but for me, I believed it was very spiritual. So should you contract COVID or any other ailment, and you are a believer, it is important to pray. Pray, because sometimes the body may be affected, but you need to pray about it. The other thing I'm urging people is, get vaccinated. We do not know why this is happening. And since there are vaccines that are available, please go for your vaccine. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.